Hello YouTube and welcome to Wisconsin. Site to race number 4 of the Coke Vanilla Cup series. Just waiting on the first car to go out and it looks like we will have that car already. There we go. Samet Ozkan will be the first car out, and we do know that this 29 car will race. They are the 30th spot in the points coming in. Both drivers and owners because no one's moved points around. So for Samet Ozkan, good job for them there. They were able to put themselves into a spot where the defending Owners Series champion at least is guaranteed a spot. We won't be able to watch them. We'll just have to kind of see how things go. Gene Sanford is one of the Gargo home cars this week. Did not quite get high enough in the owners' points to be able to lock their way into the show. The late race pit stop certainly didn't help. 36th in the owners' points for car 47. They are still looking at possibly switching these points over to the 21 at some point if need be, or if it betters them anywhere in the long term for doing so. Zachary Fitzwater, the Simons Dodge, car number 19. Also one of the Gargo home cars this week, 44th in the points coming off a poor run at Bristol where they also had to pit late. Looks like that would be a 41st place, 41st place finish for them last week, so they have to make it in on speed now. It's not something they've had to do the first 3 races. William Brock will race. They are, where are they? 16th in the points, still looking for that first top 10 of the season for car number 18. But it's already a step above where they were last season because they do have, actually they've got all 3 cars locked into the race. So Gibbs Racing off to a great start. Oh boy, what can't we say about Tristan Wilhoit's start to the season? As we have a massive frame spike there. Sorry. I think I'm needing to delete some old clips is what I'm needing to do. Tristan Wilhoit there has finished in the top 5 every race so far this season. He comes in as the points leader. So, not much to say there. It's simple and sweet. Roush Racing looks to be back. Seth Cole, the National Guard Chevy, comes into this race, and they will race 10th in the points for Seth Cole. A great start to the year so far. 2 top 10s and already way above. I think he's already almost halfway to his point total from last season. Let's just put that in respect. He's almost halfway there in just 3 races. So, yeah. Jeffrey McCullough is one of the Go-Go home cars this week. Car number 26 is sub 45th in points. So this is about the one Roush car that has not performed well so far this season. So they'll have to make it in on speed. It's a very important qualifying session for McCullough. James Qualls in car number 11 will race. They are 12th in the points coming in. The highest of the Gibbs Racing cars, actually. 1 top 10 so far in the first 3 races. Gonna now just doesn't have that pressure on him now, so now he can just go out there. He knows he will race and just has to put a good solid footing on this and hopefully just keep running well. Christopher Pierce was able to put the 41 car into the top 13 points despite missing one of the first 3 races. Comes in tied for 26th but loses the tiebreaker on top 10 so far as Gene Sanford goes top of the board early on. But Pierce will race. He's 27th in the points coming in, so needs a good run, that's for sure. William Flickinger needing to get a good qualifying effort. They are a go-go home car because they have not even made a single race yet this season. Going to be looking for better things here. We'll have to see what happens for Flickinger. Well, how about this? All 3 Ganassi cars on the track right together. Mark George, will race 23rd in the owner's points. And again, doing spectacularly well and much better than what Seth did in that car last season. So they know they'll race. That's the important part. RJ Reynolds has to make it in on speed. He finally made a race last weekend at Bristol, but it was not enough to even put him top 45 in the owner's points. So we'll have to see how that can go. Dylan Young on track. He will race the 24 car. Despite missing Bristol, he was able to put it top 30 in the points. Comes into this race 20th in the points after Bristol, I should say. After 3 rounds, he's 20th. Remember, he was top 10 before DNQing Bristol, so we'll have to see how they can do. Max Anderson, P3 on the speed charts right now, will have to qualify in on speed, so that's a good start at least. Go-Go Home Cars are the top 4. Okay, they were top 4 before I said that. Anderson, not top 45 in the owner's points even, so he will have to make it in on speed. Alexander Rowe is 41st in the owner's points, and they will have to race they will have to make it in on speed. They are go or go home car as well. And right now that speed is not impressive. Cole Deaver will race 17th quickest right now. 15th in the points coming in for Cole Deaver. With the one top 10 finish so far, so things still in the early going. We'll have to see how they can do. Zach Rogers is 4th in car number 10 and 8th in the points, so they will also race, so that's good news for them there. Amy Shelley is one of the Go Home cars, 31st in points, 17th quickest right now for car number 12. I think that's going to need to come up by the end of this because I'm seeing a lot of Go Home cars in that top of the board. Just been a rough start to the season so far for Shelley. You have to see if she can turn it around. Henry Sanford in the 00 is currently 14th in the points. They will race, and they're 16th quickest right now on track. As Mark George now to the top of the board. Stephen Pollard III, with his Bristol performance, was able to move his way into the top 30, but just barely. He's in that tie for 26th in points right now coming in. A terrible run here will not help him, and right now the speed chart's not looking good, 25th. 8th quickest right now for Mary Shelley, and Shelley will race. We knew that actually no matter what, but does not have to rely on the past champions provisional to make the race. They are 38. They are 28th in points coming in car number 38. That's what I was trying to say. They are top 30. They have guaranteed a spot that way. And there's, okay, so let's see. Have I missed anyone yet? I hadn't talked about Allie Nelson yet. 13th quickest right now up to 9th. And Allie Nelson is one of the Go Home cars. 33rd in points coming in. Needs a solid qualifying run and needs to be able to run solidly in the race as well. Qualifying has not been something that's gone well for this team so far this season. I will say that. So Chris Wilson, 7th quickest right now in car 66, and they will race 25th in the points coming into this one, so they've done a spectacular job considering they are only going to be running the partial schedule. Granted, it's most of the schedule, but still it's partial, so we'll have to see how they can do. Isaac Flickinger is 15th right now. They are one of the Go Home cars, 35th in the points. Again, one of the part-time cars, so we'll get to see him the next couple weeks, but not much longer than that. I just realized I hadn't talked about him either. Steve Pollard is 4th quickest, and again, one of the third part-time car in this group. He will race 21st in the points coming in after DNQing at Bristol, so good job for Pollard there. And that actually, I'm surprised I was able to cover that well. I'm honestly surprised I was able to cover the field that quickly, that easily. I was figuring that it wouldn't be that easy even on a road course. I seriously need to go through this and try and find some clips I can delete out of my fraps folder. Flying laps are counting still, but that's it. So it looks like there's going to be the person who sets the quickest time out of this group. Some surprisingly close times. I mean, you got Alexander Rowe and Amy Shelley, the two Penske cars, are separated by a thousandth of a second. So Mary Shelley takes it to the pit lane, not needing to set a new lap time either. So as it looks like this is going to be we still have to wait for the 50 seconds, but looks like Fitzwater, Gene Sanford, Alexander Rowe, and Amy Shelley should be safe to make this race on speed. Alexander Rowe, you can see how confident he feels. He's on pit lane already. Obviously, the sweating and nervousness for what happens in group number 2, that would lie with Max Anderson, Allie Nelson, Jeffrey McCullough, and RJ Reynolds. Does not look good for Isaac Flickinger or William Flickinger for that matter. And with that, now the flying laps do not count. So Mary Shelley sets the quickest lap in this session. We'll take a commercial break and we'll be back for group number 2. And welcome back. Set to go here for group number 2. Wrong. There we go. Whoops. There we go. First car out onto the track is going to be the 48 of Kyle Matthews. He is one of the... I forgot to delete those clips. Oh, we're just going to have a really laggy. We'll have a somewhat laggy qualifying session. Kyle Matthews, though, first car out. He is one of the Gargo home cars. Comes into this race 34th in the points, so not too far off, but still has to make it in on speed. Jonathan Zorline, another one of the Gargo home cars, 39th in the points, the RVs.com Ford, or the Camping World Ford, I should say. Has won a D&Q race so far this season, but has only made one actual start, that being at Bristol. Brendan Patterson comes into this race 4th in the points. They will race the Carhartt Ford. Spectacular start so far. He's already grabbed a win, snapping a 56 race winless streak at the time back at Atlanta, and looking to build on it here at the road course. Sky Commons, after DNQing Bristol, is one of the Gargo home cars, 38th in the points. Gonna have to try and rebound now. He's done a good job at qualifying so far this season, just didn't quite get the right mix there at Bristol. Mohammed Zain Abdullah will also race 7th in the points for the Bass Pro Shop Chevy. One top 10 so far this season for the rookie. Gonna look to build on that here. Now, no pressure, at least, that they are in the show, and pretty comfortably in the show, might I add. William Duncan, one of the guys who will race. He is 22nd in the points coming in. Has a top 10 so far this season, but it wasn't a great Bristol race. Going to look to rebound here. No pressure, at least, on them. They will race in the Singular Wireless Chevy. Preston Plord, the Home Depot Chevy, will race. He is 23rd in the owners in the points, at least, coming in. The NASCAR Day Chevy on board this week, so we'll have to see how they can do. Vince Almarego, following in the footsteps of Kyle Matthews, brings out his 1957 throwback scheme. They will race for this car. 11th in the... I keep saying in the owner's points because of our habit from last year. 11th in points. It doesn't matter if it's drivers or owners right now. Either way, they will race. That's the main point there. So, going to look just to put in a solid qualifying effort and get a good run here at Road America. Charles Jackson, car number 9 on track. They will race, but they need a good run, though, because the 9 car comes in 29th in the points, so not very comfortable on that bubble. Only 12 points to the good coming in, which is as little as it's as big as 4 spots. 4 spots making the difference between he is locked in versus he has to make it in on speed. Sam Young in car number 14 will race. Not as much nervousness there with that team because they are 17th in the points and with a healthy bubble over 30th. So far still looking for that first top 10 for the Waste Management team, so we'll have to see how that can go. Zach Flickinger in car 55 is one of the Go or Go Home cars, 40th in the points right now for Flickinger. I believe he missed Atlanta, either missed Atlanta or he missed Daytona. I'm kind of blanking on that right now, but it was one of those two. Kev Shear, 32nd in the points, will have to make it in on speed, but they've been putting in some solid qualifying. Almost sound like I said koala there. Okay. They've been putting in some solid qualifying efforts, so I'm not too worried about them not making this race. Levi McIntyre in car 99. He will race. They are 9th in the points. 3 Roush cars currently top 10 in the points coming into this race weekend. So compared to last season, that is a complete 180. That is literally just a complete 180. Tim Randolph is currently 6th in points in car number 60, and this team is building off their successes of last season. It's really cool to see that they are running really well. Randolph currently with 1 top 10, going to look to build on that and try and run better now that they don't have as much pressure on them. Bill Brack Jr. will race. He is 3rd in the points with 2 top 5s in the first 3 races so far this season. The second being at, actually both of them being the non-plate track. Ironically enough, is Atlanta and Bristol, back-to-back top 5s for Braddock Jr. coming in. But unfortunately, 68 points down on Will Hoyt coming in. Delon Ebrahimian is currently 10th quickest, the AAA forward. Gonna need to see the decklet of this car if I can. There we go. Ebrahimian will race. They are 18th in the owner's points coming in car number 6. Same as drivers, but still, like I said, for some reason I'm saying owner's points. Tom Shelley will have to make it in on speed. 43rd in the owner's points for car 45, a car that this was a car that made the final 4 in the owner's title fight at Talladega and just have not gotten it going to start the season. Something about the chemistry, I think, with Shelley and Shear just not clicking, and both cars now having to make it in on speed here. Johnny Gardner, after DNQing at Bristol, solidified that he'd be a Go or Go Homer here. He is 42nd in points coming in, so they will have to make it in on speed in car 06. But they've made 2 races so far this season, so qualifying has not been an issue for them. And we've got the 3rd Camping World car this week, the 07, also carrying the Camping World Chevy logos on it. And 2nd in the points for Will Lewis, coming off the race win at Bristol. Just going to have to build on it here. 16th right now on the speed charts, but that doesn't really matter to them. They will race. That's the only... I mean, qualifying does somewhat matter for a road course because we don't do cautions, but you get the point. Jessica Shelton, currently 12th quickest in car 21. Will have to make it in on speed as this car has missed 2 of the first 3 races this season, but maybe with a new... maybe with... Wow, top of the board for this group. It's not a pole speed there for Shelton, though. But what I was going to say with this is that maybe at least with now having more accurate representation here of who should be outside the top 30, maybe that will help the 21 make the race a little bit more. Jack James is currently 5th quickest, the State Water Heater Chevy. Will race. They are 19th in the points, and this is another car that I think I need to see the deck lid. Okay, good. Yeah, it's another one of those that I'd have to see the deck lid. There's like 3 of them, I think. Charles Sanford is currently 21st quickest. The '05 car has to make it in on speed. They are 37th in the points coming in. They've only made one race so far this season, and that was at Bristol. Amazingly enough, this team came away with their first top five finish since the Daytona 500 win last season, though, in doing so. So Vince Almarego now to the top of the board. And with that, now we just go ahead and talk them like this. Chris Washer, the defending champion, will race. He is 5th in the points coming in, which is good because they are 20th quickest right now on the speed charts. And just not looking that impressive on speed. I don't think Washer really is that in tune with the road courses, but I could be wrong. Chris Louvier, the Principal Financial Group Chevy, is currently 19th quickest, and will race the '01 car after just a miserable season last year, has put it on 2 front rows this season, including the pole last weekend, and this car is top 30 in points. So Chris Louvier, with a spectacular job the first 3 races as a go or go home car, has put this car into the top 30. Oh, there we go. Joshua Osborne, the radioactive car, 8th quickest right now. Osborne is one of the go-go homers, but also one of the part-time cars. 45th in the points right now for car number 70. Not a terrible start in all honesty, but they're not really that worried, I think. They're just here to have some fun and make some races when they can, so. Let's see, with that, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the bottom cars and see who's trying to make it in and needs to pick up speed. Worth noting, we are in the realm of time where if you do pull off, if your car pulls off to pit lane, you will not get another lap in. So this is where, if you're a go-go homer, you really don't want to see your car pull into the pits. with that, we are done with qualifying. Flying laps are allowed to count. The red and black flags flying at the flag stand. Looking for anyone to jump up as they come across the line here. No improvement for the 43. And that is it. And the 06 doesn't have that lap count at all. So with that, qualifying is in the books. William Duncan puts together the quickest lap of this session. It'll be interesting to see if he or shoot, I don't remember. It's gonna be close between for the pole there. The lap time's more consistent in this group, from what I can tell. But of Go Home cars in this group, looks like Jessica Shelton, Joshua Osborne should be sitting pretty to make the race. I would say Kyle Matthews as well. Zorline, I think, is going to be safe. And it starts to kind of get iffy around Shelley, Shear, and then it does not look good for Sanford, Gardner, or Flickinger. Zach Flickinger, I should say. So with that, that is qualifying in the books here. Right after this, you will see the starting grid with the DNQs in order of their qualifying speed. I'd like to thank you for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.